Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at Transformers Legends LG-EX Powered Master Big Powered. I know that's a bit of a mouthful to say. Basically what this was a Takara Tomy Mall exclusive. And if you're not familiar with Takara Tomy Mall, it's basically their version of Premium Bandai. So you have to order it from their website. They're limited runs exclusive to the online ordering. I got mine from Big Bad Toy Store. Was about 160, so it's no joke. Definitely a pretty beefy set. But basically what it is it's 3 heavy retools of existing Transformers Legends figures or Titans Return over here in the States. And they're basically done to be Zone characters. So you have Die-Atlas, Sonic Bomber, and Road Fire. Now, if you're not familiar with Transformers Zone, a little bit of a history lesson real quick. Over here in the States, we had G1. We had the Return of Optimus Prime. That was the end of official Season 3. Over here in the States, we got a 3-episode Season 4 called The Rebirth, which introduced the Headmasters, but then the show was canceled. The toy line continued, but the show was canceled. In Japan, they didn't want The Rebirth, so after the death of Optimus Prime, the end of Season 3, they created their own series, The Headmasters. I think 35-episode series, which was followed by a 42-episode series, Transformers Super God Master Force, which is some of my all-time favorite Transformers fiction, but moving on. That was followed by Transformers Victory, which I believe is 35, 37 episodes, something like that. But I think at that point, ratings had kind of started to decline. So their next proposed series was going to be Transformers Zone. Transformers Zone was basically 3 main Autobots here that all had robot mode, vehicle mode, and also base modes. And it also had all of the Micromasters and their bases. So obviously, bases was a big part of the series. There were going to be like the Micromasters with their bases. These guys had base modes and etc. And the show, I think, got one episode special. It might have even been... No, the internet probably wasn't really... I was going to say a web special, but I don't think the internet was even around by then. Or if it was in its infancy. Anyway, so I think it was like a one-off special or pilot that just never really materialized into anything, but there's still a lot of great characters from it, so that's what these guys are. These are heavy retools made into Zone characters, and I'm super excited for it. I love Zone. I love little playsets and bases and things like that, especially with the Micromasters. It's a lot of fun, in my opinion. So I was really excited when they announced this set. Die-Atlas is a heavy retool of Overlord. Sonic Bomber is a heavy retool of, I believe, Trigger Happy. And then Road Fire is a heavy retool of Topspin. Or actually Twin Twist. I guess they're the same mold. But I would say he's closer to Twin Twist because he has the treads and everything. So, front of the packaging looking absolutely fantastic. Here is the 3 guys over here on the corner with the Headmasters. Not too much going on there on the bottom. On this side, it shows you how Die-Atlas has a base mode, vehicle mode. He's actually got 2 vehicle modes, which of course we'll take a look at all that. And then they have the others, vehicle modes, base modes. Then there's also a big powered, which is you can combine all 3 vehicles. And then just some cool artwork there on the side. So pretty much it for the packaging. First I'll go ahead and I'll show you the little instruction booklets. So this actually comes with 3 instruction booklets, 1 for each. You can see here is Sonic Bomber. He's got the jet mode. He's got the base mode. Really nice artwork here on the side. And of course, he does come with a mini comic. So you can see it says EX01. Well, just EX1. And then I can't tell what's going on, but Sonic Bomber is doing something. There's a little shot of the base mode there. I think his base mode is the best out of all 3. And then the instructions are on the inside. So that's it for Sonic Bomber. Here is Road Fire. Tank mode, base mode. I kind of think his base mode is the worst, but we'll get there. And then he's got a comic as well, EX2. See, they show him holding his gun as like a hammer, which you can't really do with the toy. They also show them combining with Topspin and Twin Twist, which is interesting. And then, of course, the instructions are on the inside. And then last, but certainly not least, we have Die Atlas. He's got a very long comic, so we'll take a look here. You got Megatron showing up. And I don't get this. It looks like Die Atlas has Decepticon symbols on his wings. So I don't know if he started out as a Decepticon and then changed his mind. I always loved the comics with the Legends characters. They were so much fun. Even though I really couldn't read what was going on, they were still just awesome to look at. And then I would just go online and other people better than me would translate them. And then there's actually even more when you come back inside here. So this is Big Powered with Twin Twist and Topspin also attached. So that's crazy. And then the instructions are, of course, inside here. There are very many instructions for Die Atlas. But yeah, those are the 3 instruction books. And I think they're all pretty excellent. And I love the comics that they include inside as well. Alright, so here are all 3. Each comes with their own little headmaster. This is Die Atlas. And I'll do close-ups of the headmasters later on. But here is Roadfire. And then here is Sonic Bomber. I think it's kind of funny that these two look fairly similar. But I'm going to put these off to the side for now. What I want to do real quick while I have them all in vehicle mode is I wanted to show you the combination for Big Powered. And then I'm going to break off and show you each one individually. So the first thing you do, you take Die Atlas, which you can see is kind of the jet and tank mode of Overlord. But he does not separate. We'll get to that more later. So you take this off, you actually push this down, and you can see that a little clip will pop up there. You're going to take Sonic Bomber, remove his gun, come around to the bottom, plug it in right here. Now, this is really weird, and it doesn't really work all that great, but you can see that there's kind of 2 little clips right here and here. And he's got these 2 little clips here and here. Now you're supposed to be able to clip these onto that, and it's just really hard to do because there's not really a great way to get your fingers down there and push, because they're both really flimsy, and it's just there's no great way to do it. Luckily there's this peg, and then there's a peg hole right here, so if you just kind of lift this up a smidge, you can peg this in like that. And then, you know, you can bring it down, and they're supposed to connect in, but it's really pretty much impossible. So I kind of just, like, get it close, and then I just kind of sit it and let the peg do its work, because, honestly, like, I really appreciate that they did the peg, because otherwise you'd never be able to get these connected. I think this connection is totally weak, and maybe I'm doing it wrong. I'm not going to say that's not possible, because it is very possible. But I can see where they're supposed to connect. It's just, I don't know how you get your finger down in there to push it till they connect, because it's just impossible. Anyway, you come down to Roadfire. You take this whole blue piece off. This will unpeg. This piece here will lift up and sit right there. And then you will take this little flap, and this will flip up. And then you can see that little connection there will connect to this peg here. So that connects there. This will then peg in here, and then this will peg in here. So there is Big Powered in his giant crazy configuration. I think it looks kind of cool. I definitely don't see how this would ever lift off the ground, but, you know, it's a toy, so use your imagination. Definitely got a lot of firepower, though. But yeah, there is Big Powered in all his glory, the giant vehicle combination. Pretty cool. Alright, so we'll take a look at Die Atlas first. This is his shuttle mode. You can see he's got quite the big tank treads down there. His gun just pegs in there. I'm going to go ahead and take that off. Overall, really like the color scheme, and I think the paint applications are great. I love the Autobot symbol on the wings. He's got this drill bit in the front, which is kind of spring-loaded. It doesn't spin, but it can kind of waggle back and forth, and it's definitely spring-loaded. I'm guessing it's a safety thing, just so it doesn't, like, if you try to hit someone or stab someone with it, because it has the give, it's not that dangerous. That's my guess. I don't really know what other purpose it would serve. But anyway, here is... Nope, that's the wrong one. I told you they look similar. Here is the Headmaster for Diatlas. Looks pretty good. Typical Headmaster posability. You have the kind of limited ball joint in the shoulder. You have that double bend here in the waist and knees. And then you have a ball joint for the head. The face looks pretty good. Nicely painted for how small it is. You can go ahead and lift this up like this. And then he can fit down inside. It's a bit of a tight fit, but you can get him in there and he closes up very nicely. So there you go. Go ahead and take him out of there. He does have what they call a tank mode, and it's very simple. You just kind of bend the wings up, unpeg the arms, and then they kind of spin around. It's a little difficult to do just because of how things get in the way, but you can eventually get it around. And then you fold this straight down like that. So let's try this again. There we go. So this is the tank mode. Now, in my opinion, this is not really that great. But there you go. That's what they call the tank mode. I don't know. I don't really have too much to say about this mode. It seems very tacked on. I can't remember if he had a shuttle mode and a tank mode in the anime. He must have, because why else would they do this? But yeah, it just... I mean, the shuttle mode is fine. I feel like you don't need this mode. But if you want it, here it is. Tank mode. Alright, so up first we're going to go to the base mode. Basically what you're going to want to do is you want to unclip this. And how this works, there's a clip inside here, and that clips onto these two pieces here. There's one on each leg. So once you open that up, you can go ahead and fold that down. You're going to want to unpeg the arms and just move them out to the side a little bit just to get clearance. So you have it like this. You're going to unpeg these from each other and then flip the legs all the way down. It's a little bit easier said than done. Now, this is the weird waist thing. So, if you remember Overlord, this was just a solid piece of plastic that came out, and then it just pegged into here and there was no problem. But because of the way they want you to do this with the base mode, they give you this weird plastic piece that's like on a track, and it has some swivels and things. It's alright. I understand what they're going for, but it definitely makes it a little weird. So you swivel that around. You're going to... Alright. We're just going to try to hold that as best we can. You're going to swivel this. This goes out. No, hold on. I'm doing this wrong. This stays like this. Hold on. What am I doing wrong here? Maybe you don't swivel this. That's what you do. Sorry. You're going to put this out to the side after you swivel it around, and then you bend it like that. So, yes, that's what you do. So you spin this out to the side, and then bend this in like that. Now, unfortunately, this thing doesn't really clip in. It does in robot mode, kinda. We'll get there. But for this mode, it doesn't really. So you're going to take these wings completely off. They just completely unpeg. You're going to pull out the arms, and they kind of just like stay off to the side like that, but you want to rotate them around like this. So just kind of do with that what you can. You're going to take those wings back. I think you put like this. This will peg in here on the side. And then you kind of angle these down And that just kind of gives it a little bit of stability, but it's not perfect. So there you go. This will flip down and become like a little place for the headmaster to stand. These will unpeg and clip up like this. And then these will flip open and reveal those little connector ports like Titan's Return used to use if you wanted to connect some of the bases together. And then you just take this and peg it into this peg hole here on the crotch. So that's the base mode. Come on, get in there, you. Am I doing this wrong? I don't think so. Because now that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking that's just a screw hole. So it turns out it is just a screw hole, but it works. You can peg the gun into it. Just be a little careful. Yeah, this is the base mode. It's not terrible. It is very similar to the one that Overlord and Black Shadow, I think the other guy was called, the repaint of him. Their base modes were very similar. They didn't have this weird goofy thing, but you kind of just have the arms just kind of become like stilts for him. And then you have the wings also help balance. So it doesn't really flop around or fall over. It's not bad. You can take the headmaster and have him stand up here if you like. It's just not the best. It's fine. It's just not amazing. But like I said, Overlord's wasn't amazing either. It was fine, just not amazing. So I will say the weird floppy waist thing is a bit of a bummer, but at the same time, because the arms and the wings hold it together, it's not that bad. Alright, so I transformed him back to vehicle mode just because I feel like it's easiest to get to robot mode from there. Also, I've moved the camera up because this guy's going to be pretty tall by the time we're done. So we're going to go ahead and remove the wings. And honestly, the transformation is not too difficult. You kind of want to just push this down. You're going to lift this up like this. Then you're going to unpeg again at that same spot from before. Fold the arms out to the side. And then basically do the same thing. Split these guys apart. Fold these down. Fold these down. Now you are going to spin it at the waist. And then you're going to bring this down, and this should snap in place. So you hear it snap into place there. Now it's still a little wobbly, unfortunately, but it's better. You're going to unpeg these, bring this around. That'll peg into place on the other side. Then you're going to rotate these around like that. Take the bottom feet area, lift them up, open them on the back. So lift this up like that. If you've transformed Overlord, it's very similar. So here is pretty much the main body at this point. Go ahead and close that up again. You're going to pull this down, rotate 180, and then you're going to take a hold of this and push this out. Nope, that's the wrong one. Haha, it gets me every time. It's on the back. You're going to push that one down to reveal the fist. So, down, spin, bend, push that out. There are your arms. Now you're going to come up to the top. You're going to spin this whole apparatus around 180 degrees. You're going to bring the helmet down just enough to pull like it was like this. You want to push this all the way up like that. Open it back up. Now the headmaster, in my opinion, is a little difficult to get in here, but you can get it. Just takes a little bit of, there we go. And then once you push this down, you are just about done. The last thing to do, make sure this is down all the way. Bring your wings back in. This peg hole, that peg. Pop that on there. Pop that on there. And there you go. There is Diatlas. We'll give him his gun. There he is in all his robot mode splendor. I think he looks good. I really do like the robot mode. Like I said, because of that weird connection, like he's doing ab crunches all the time. He can kind of move from side to side there. And it's not super floppity, but it's a little floppity. So just be careful with that. But I mean, once you have him stand, like he stands and it's no problem. You can even angle him a little forward. There we go. So he looks good. It's just, it's a really weird connection they decided to go with. I don't love it, but I can deal with it. I think this on the back looks good. Shoulders spin here, out to the side. Bicep swivel 90 degrees in the elbow. Wrist doesn't move. Again, you have a little bit of waist there. You have a kick. You can hear kind of a ratchet. Just be careful because it doesn't go all the way up. It's about where it stops. You have 90 degrees in the knee. Technically, you do have a bend out here because of the base mode. And then you have ankle tilt. So pretty good articulation, I have to say. And I really do like the look of them. The paint applications are stellar. Love that head sculpt. Let's get in close there, especially with the helmet. I think they did a great job. And you can bring that down a little bit more if you like. But yeah, really like that quite a bit. I have to say, they did a good job. I really like him. The only thing I have to complain about him is the weird little waist thing, but in robot mode, it's not as much of a pain in the butt. It's really more of a problem in the base mode, in my opinion. And I like the gun. I think the gun looks cool. So yeah, Die Atlas, looking good. Up next we have Road Fire. Here is the little Titan Master, or Headmaster, whatever you want to call him. He's got kind of a visor, one eye Cyclops from the X-Men thing going on, which is kind of neat. Otherwise, he's got all the same articulation that the others have. I promise I can't get his arms to move. Come on. I think it's just because of... There we go. No, it should have a little bit of out to the side. This one just might be a little bit more angular. There we go. But anyway, I like the head sculpt. Same articulation. Really like the robot head. Excellent paint. Excellent detail. Like the smirk he's making. Like the... Really more of a frown, but... Very cool. I like that. Yeah, this one's just... I don't know why. It's just a little weirdly tight. You can go ahead and lift this up, and he can fit right down in there. Very simple. And then, whoop, close it up. So there you go. The vehicle mode, like I said, it's very reminiscent of Twin Twist. He's got the treads here. He's got wheels on the bottom. Oh, this should be back closed because it's only for the combination with Big Powered. And he's got, I think he's got wheels here, doesn't he? This one's not turning. There it goes. So it's not amazing. He doesn't roll super smoothly, but he looks good. A lot of red, but he does have the black and the blue to break it up. So pretty cool. We'll go ahead. I'm going to take this guy out, and then we'll get started on his transformation. So go ahead and take off this big blue piece. That just pegs in here and here to these two pegs here and here. So like I said in the comic, it kind of shows him holding this as a giant hammer, but there's not really a way to do that. So just going to put that off to the side. If you're familiar with how Twin Twist transforms, it's very similar. Kind of put these out to the side, separate the legs, then this will come straight down like that. Come on, come straight down like that. These little knee pads will kick out. You will push down the feet. Then the backs will collapse in, just like that. You're going to rotate this around like that. This whole section will fold forward. Let me zoom out a smidge here. You're going to pop out the arm sections. Oops. There we go. This will come up and just kind of sit flush. This will spin 180 degrees, drop down. So that'll just basically become a giant backpack. And then you're pretty much done. You're going to lift up the arm section there so that you can fold this out. And then also the fist will rotate, and then you can close that back up. And then you just rotate that back. So to show it at a better angle so you can actually see what I'm doing, lift this up, this comes out, fold out the fist, close that up, swing that back, and there you go. So you just kind of get him all situated in a pose that you like. And then we connect the head. And because the ball joint on his is a little loose, it doesn't connect amazingly. The other thing is, I still maintain, everyone says that these are supposed to clip in, and I don't know why I have so much trouble with them. But I find it easier if you just turn it around and put the head in this way, and then just spin it around. I know technically that's not right, but it just works easier for me, so I just do it, because it's fine, it doesn't matter. So there you go. Give him his gigantic weapon. Now, I guess technically you could try to peg this in and pretend he's holding it as a hammer, but it doesn't really look that great. So I just peg that in. Give him a giant cannon. He looks pretty cool. Like I said, love that head sculpt. Let me get in closer there. I think that looks really good. And as per usual, he's got great paint applications there on the chest. Just all around, it's a really good looking figure with a giant cannon. But yeah, he looks pretty cool. Alright, time for the base mode. I will say I think this guy's base mode is probably the weakest, but we'll still check it out. So we'll go ahead, remove this again. You're going to unpeg the legs and just kind of pull them straight back like that. You're going to flip these up and pop out the hands and kind of put them down like that. Like that. Now you're supposed to, let me see if I remember how this goes. This goes like this. These fold in towards each other. This comes up like this. And just kind of do what you can with those. So let me get this straightened out. See, it's kind of annoying because you have to make sure like stuff doesn't run into itself. So it's the calf muscles here. So here we go. Okay. So get these as close together as you can here in the front. This comes down, and then they have you flip this little panel up so that this, it just kind of acts as like an extra back for that. Just a little support. And then it wants you to peg this in up here. That's pretty much it. It's just kind of lining it up and getting it to work. I don't think it's that great, unfortunately. It just looks a little goofy. Actually, do I have these upside down? No, I think that's right. Yeah, it's just kind of, that's what it is. So, it's not the best. And I'm probably not, I don't have it 100% right, because like I said, for whatever reason, because of how this is, the thighs don't really want to go right up against that, because it's kind of in the way. But, there you go. That's the base mode. It's not great. He can sit up here if you want him to. He could sit in here. Otherwise, he can just kind of stand here, I guess. I don't know. It's not the best. Alright, last but not least, what I believe to be my personal favorite, Sonic Bomber. So let's take a quick look at the Headmaster. Love the visor on the eyes painted there. Very nice. Love the head sculpt for the robot mode. Looking excellent. Otherwise, typical articulation for the Headmasters. The vehicle mode is a heavy retool of that mold that was like all the Decepticon Target Masters. So Trigger Happy, Misfire, Slugslinger, all that same mold, but really well done. So basically I'm just going to go ahead and take the gun off the top. We can lift this open, somehow, I promise. How does this open? I'm pretty sure it opens here. There it goes. So you can go ahead. I think you have to bend him at the knees to get him to fit in here. But fits in pretty well. Close him up. Very cool. Go ahead, open this up again. Take him out of there. So first we will do the robot mode. You're going to lift this up and just kind of hang that right there. You're going to bring the arms up and peg them in, but still kind of leave them out to the side just so they don't get in the way. You're going to straighten out the legs like this. This will then fold up into there like that. You're going to unpeg the legs. This whole section will fold around to the front. This will fold around to the front. Then you're going to spin them at the thighs. And then you're going to flip out the fists. And then just kind of, this really just kind of sits back here. Let me zoom out some more. It doesn't peg in or anything, it just kind of hangs back there. And then there you go. Take the headmaster. And I'm going to do the same thing where I peg the head in the other way. Feel free to yell at me, I know it's not right, but I find it easier. So there we go. There is Sonic Bomber, and like I said, I love this robot mode. I think it looks good. There's excellent paint scheme, excellent head. Not a ton of kibble or anything on the back, which I appreciate. Go ahead and give him his gun. So I think this is an outstanding robot mode. So articulation, pretty much what you'd expect. Head's on a ball joint from the Headmaster. You have a spin here in the shoulder, although it's very tight. Spin there, out to the side, bicep swivel, elbow joint, waist. I believe, no, the waist does not move because of how it connects in. But you have a ball joint in the hip, thigh swivel, a little over 90 degrees in the knee, and then you have a little bit of an ankle tilt, but it's very minimal, so I really wouldn't rely on it for too much. But he looks good. I really, really do like the look of him. I think he might be my favorite out of the three. I think I just realized that I never did articulation for Road Fire, so let's just bring him back in. It's pretty much what you'd expect if you've ever played with Twin Twist. And I have to not unhook his torso. So you have a ball joint here. Let's just take this off for the moment. Ball joint in the head, ball joint in this shoulder, plus you have this movement, and then a ball joint actually here in the shoulder. Bicep swivel, two kind of swivels in the elbow. Wrist does not move. Waist down here, ball joint in the hip, thigh swivel, pretty much 90 degrees in the knee, and then that's it in the ankle. But I think these guys look pretty good together. You can see that they are about the same size since they were both deluxes. But they look good. They look good together. Give this guy his gigantic gun. So yeah, very cool. Alright, so I'm actually just going to go to the base mode from the robot mode because I think it's easier. Go ahead and fold the fists back in. Of course, remove the Headmaster. You're going to go ahead and put the jet piece back up. Come around here to the back. And then if I remember correctly, you just spin this like this and spin this like this. And then you rotate these up and rotate that like that. And then you put the arms back down, put these out to the side. These go out to the side. There we go. So you do that. These go back down. And then these just kind of like go down enough till they kind of like just gently touch the leg. They don't clip in or anything. They just kind of hover there. Then you take the gun, peg that in where it goes in the jet mode, and then you just rotate that whole thing down. And there is your base mode. And I don't know why, I just think this one works the most out of all three of them. It's got a clear place for this guy to stand. Let me rotate his head back around. Now, he doesn't peg in or anything. It would have been nice if he did, but he's got kind of a... And you can even sit him down if you'd rather. So he can kind of sit there if you like. You got kind of like spires, almost like a little city. The legs, I think, just work. The gun's in a good spot. So, I don't know. This is just my favorite base mode out of the three. But it could just be because this is my favorite figure out of the three. I think the robot mode, the vehicle mode, the base mode are all really, really good. Love the color scheme. I think it just looks sharp. So, yeah, I think the base mode for this guy works. I think this is a really nice set. I will say it is expensive. I'll grant you that. That really has to do with the fact that it being a Takara Tomy Mall exclusive, which always just kind of makes these things more expensive. You have to find a middleman, or you can go to like somewhere like BBTS, but then you have to figure in like the actual cost of the toys, them ordering it, them shipping it to their warehouse, and etc., etc. It's kind of the same as using a middleman. So it is expensive, but I do think it's worth it, especially if you are a fan of these Japanese exclusive characters. I like Zone a lot. It didn't really amount to much because it didn't really get a full series or anything like that, but the little one-episode special we got was really fun. I love these characters, and I really think they did a nice job repurposing these old molds. I mean, some of these are unrecognizable. Honestly, Sonic Bomber is unrecognizable as like Misfire or Trigger Happy or something like that. They took the base mold, improved upon it greatly, and all of the paint applications, the color schemes, all look fantastic. I really like Roadfire as well. I like Die Atlas, but I will say that the weird thing they did with the... Shoot called it a spinal cord, and I guess that's as good a term to use as any. The weird abdomen connector, whatever you want to call it, it is weird. It snaps together decently in robot mode, and he does like hold his stance. He's not about to fall over. It's not a floppy mess. But I will say I think that the base mode suffers the most because of that weird connection. So it's not bad. That's kind of like the one thing. If I had to complain about something for this whole set, it would probably be his weird abdomen connection. I know what they were going for, and it's not bad. It's just not amazing. But I think they did a great job repurposing these molds. Like I said, all the paint is beautiful. The headmasters are great. They made a base mode for every one of these characters, even though these molds didn't really have them. I mean, Die Atlas did, but the other two certainly did not. So they did the best with what they could, and I think they actually did a really nice job. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts on this. But like I said, if you have the money for it, I would advise picking it up. But, you know, if you're on a budget, you could easily pass. It's a nice set, but it is pricey. So, again, sound off in the comments below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thank you so much for watching.